Welcome back, Defenders. I wasn't going to make an update video today, but there is so much going on. We're going to do a half episode today, and then I'll be back with a full update video tomorrow. But for today, let's just cover two important events that occurred in the last 2 days. First, Ukraine's long Neptune missile and drones hit Russian oil terminal and air defenses in Novorossiysk. Observers tracking open-source footage links some of the strikes to a military unit housing S-300 or S-400 systems. NASA firms confirmed fires across Novorossiysk. This was the Russian port city of Novorossiysk 2 nights ago, and that is a very large mushroom cloud emanating from Russia's oil terminal. Now, this is a little confusing because here on the channel for the last couple weeks, we've been talking about the Russian port city of Tuapse. Currently, the oil export terminal and refinery in Tuapse is offline, but Russia has a second oil export terminal in Novorossiysk. All of Russia's Shadow Fleet tankers, I assume, once Tuapse shut down, they've been redirected to Novorossiysk. So Ukraine is now going after this port city. And here is what it looks like kind of zoomed in. This is where Russia's Black Sea Fleet naval assets are located. This is the oil terminal, and this is a Russian military unit where they set up air defense systems. I'll show you the pictures in a second. But this is the firm's data showing where the fires were located. This is the oil terminal. This is the naval base. This is the civilian area for exporting. And then this is where the military barracks were with the air defense system. There is a fantastic video. I wish I could play it for you guys. Every time I try and show any kind of combat footage, there's like this Egyptian television station that then puts a copyright on the video. I could appeal it, but that takes 30 days, so I just have to link these down below. But this shows the air defense systems in Novorossiysk going off. The person who took this video, I think, is from Turkey. And it's incredible. Ukraine's drones and their cruise missiles went through Russia's air defense systems. They struck everything they wanted to strike last night. Open source intelligence can geolocate whenever there's a picture or a video and there's recognizable landmarks such as this church, so we know for sure that the oil terminal was on fire. And this is the secondary explosions from a Neptune missile striking an S-400 air defense system. This is a pretty large explosion with all of the rocket fuel burning in the atmosphere. This is a well-known shopping area in Novorossiysk, so we can geolocate where this explosion occurred, and it happened right here. When you zoom in with satellites, we can see the transport erector launchers for either an S-300 or an S-400 system. So according to the satellites, we've got 4 launchers located right here, another 3 over here. There's also special equipment such as radars, I think right here and right here. But this is the oil terminal, currently on fire and exploding. I'll link all these videos down below if you want to see it for yourself. Zelensky releases footage of Ukrainian long Neptune missiles striking deep into Russia. Kyiv recently unveiled the updated version of a Neptune anti-ship missile, the same that was used to sink the Moskva cruiser back in April of 2022. This is President Zelensky releasing the video, and I can link it down below, but it's just a 9-second clip showing the Neptune launcher, and I think these were the long-range Neptune missiles that went into Russia and destroyed their port city of Novorossiysk. This is a comparison. This is the baseline Neptune. This originally was a Ukrainian anti-ship missile, but they've added more fuel and I'm guessing a bigger payload. The new long-range Neptune, it's estimated maybe it can go 1,000 kilometers, so lots of great targets within a 1,000 kilometer range of Ukrainian-controlled territory. Here's a still image from a video showing the oil terminal on fire. And because there's recognizable buildings, once again, open source intelligence can confirm exactly where this occurred. And this is the most sensitive delicate, important parts of the oil export terminal. I'm guessing there's probably a little bit of refining going on here as well. And it took 2 days, but these are the earliest satellite images. This is the before, and this is the after. A direct hit. A massive explosion. This oil terminal is foobarred. It's not coming back anytime soon. I've just been clicking around trying to find general estimates. How long will this oil terminal be offline? Best case scenario, if this is Russia's #1 priority, they have their best people trying to fix it, 2 to 3 months. 2 to 3 months of downtime. Concerning the air defense systems, this is the satellite images. This is November 11th. This is November 15th, so as of this morning. And yes, there were definitely 4 S-400 launchers located here, and they were all destroyed. Whew. Here's a zoom in. Once again, devastating. In addition, there were radars located next to these launchers. Those were also destroyed. This was the safest place to put radars, next to the air defense launchers. If Russia's S-400 air defense systems can't shoot down these Neptune missiles, then they're pretty worthless, because more of these Neptune missiles are coming. A source in the Ukraine's military emphasized that each destroyed air defense system creates a hole in the defense that Ukrainian drones and missiles will definitely exploit. Here is Google satellite images, and this is pretty fascinating just to zoom in. This is definitely where the oil export terminal is located. You can see there are Shadow Fleet tankers currently filling up when this satellite image was taken. This is the naval base when Russia abandoned the port city of Sevastopol. It wasn't safe for their frigates and cruisers to remain there. But now Novorossiysk isn't safe, and there's nowhere for these warships to go unless they sail into the Sea of Azov, and then they use the canal system to go upstream just to, once again, get away from Ukraine's new long-range threats. You then have the civilian and cargo shipping areas, but the air defense systems and the military barracks were located down here. I'm guessing this is also a military airfield. Here's the accomplishments. Russia's Black Sea port of Novorossiysk suspends oil exports after Ukrainian drone attack, according to sources. Novorossiysk has halted oil exports on Friday after Ukrainian drone attack, and the oil pipeline monopoly Transneft suspended crude supplies to the outlet. This is 2 industry sources telling Reuters confidentially. Transneft declined to comment. So Transneft is no longer sending crude to the export terminal, and the export terminal is no longer loading up Shadow Fleet tankers. This is a disaster for Russia. Now you might see headlines such as this: oil gains more than 2% as Russian port suspends oil exports after Ukrainian attack. But when you go to the price of ICE Brent crude, it's barely noticeable. There is no oil shock. The world is not freaking out. Yes, there's a 2% bump, but on this 5-year charts, you can't even tell the difference. But there's going to be a difference felt for the Russians. Ukrainian attack halts oil exports from Russia's Novorossiysk, affecting 2% of global supply. Russia's Black Sea port in Novorossiysk suspended oil exports equivalent to 2.2 million barrels per day, or 2% of global supply. The math's not complicated. If Russia is getting $50, $55 a barrel, and they can no longer export from this terminal 2.2 million barrels per day, then they're losing in revenue $100 million a day. What percent of that is profits? It's probably much lower, maybe $10 or $20 million in profit that then goes to the Russian military to benefit the Kremlin. But Russia still has operating costs. They still have to pay all of their employees, plus the costs of repairing this facility. So this is a double whammy. This is devastating for the Russian economy. It's just going to take a couple weeks, a couple months for everything to continue to deteriorate. But that is the direction we are going in. This is a winning strategy for Ukraine. Russia's been putting on a brave face, but their economy cannot survive if all of their refineries and export terminals go offline. Russia today is not exporting a single drop of oil out of the Black Sea. They still have their export terminal in St. Petersburg. But what's to stop Ukraine from going for that next? We just need to let this play out. We need to stall for time, and we have to continue these kinetic sanctions. I'm sorry, but the G7, the United States, the EU, applying sanctions, this is more effective. This is more devastating. When Ukraine defeats Russia, this will be the reason why, and Russia knows it. So the Russians are angry, and when they're angry, they just like harming and killing innocent people. Russia launches massive air attack on Kyiv, killing 6 and wounding 36 civilians across the capital, children and a pregnant woman among the injured. Every district hits, Russia hammers Kyiv in unprecedented assault, 4 dead, high-rises ablaze across the capital. Ukraine did their best. Russia launched 449 drones and missiles simultaneously, including 6-caliber Iskander cruise missiles and 2 Kinzhal hypersonics. Here's the map. I mean, this is not very subtle what the Russians are doing. They're not going for valid military targets. They're just targeting anything that can catch fire in the capital city of Kyiv. Their goal is terrorism. They've been doing this for 4 years, but somehow they think if they're just a little bit meaner, if they're just a little bit more cruel, then Ukrainians will all of a sudden decide to surrender and submit to their subjugation. I can share the pictures and videos. I'll put some links down below, but this is an apartment building in Kyiv that the Russians hit. This is an apartment building in Kyiv the Russians hit. This is an apartment building in Kyiv the Russians hit. This is an apartment building in Kyiv the Russians hit. These are not accidents. These are deliberate. This is a children's nursery in an apartment building that the Russians blew up because they're targeting and trying to kill women and children. Russia's military does not know how to win. It's been 4 years. They have no way of effectively advancing, and their only hope is terrorism. Just get Ukrainians to leave the country, weaken the economy, or build pressure so they'll just surrender and allow Russia to take their capital city. This is what Ukrainian civilians are going through every night. This is a family sheltering in their basement. I'm assuming this is 3 children and then 2 dogs and a cat. This air attack by Russia was 5 hours of drone and missile and air defense system explosions going off, as Ukrainians had to shelter wherever they could. Here's President Zelensky about the attack from 2 nights ago. Since last night, our emergency services have been working at the sites of the Russian strikes, a wicked attack. As of now, we know of dozens of wounded, including children and a pregnant woman. Sadly, 4 people have been killed. My condolences to the families and their loved ones. About 430 drones and 18 missiles were used in the strike, including ballistic and aeroballistic missiles. Ukraine is responding to these strikes with long-range strength, and the world must stop these attacks on life with sanctions. Russia is still able to sell oil and build its schemes. All of this must end. A great deal of work is underway with partners to strengthen our air defenses, but it is not enough. We need reinforcement with additional systems and interceptor missiles. Europe and the United States can help. We are counting on real decisions. Thank you to everyone who helps. I do want to share just one story to make this real. This is Andre, and he gave an interview because both of his parents were killed by the Russians 2 nights ago. This is Andre speaking with a reporter. Were your parents killed? Yes. Could you share what happened, please? They lived in a village and decided to spend the winter in Kyiv. They had just arrived 5 days ago. And last night we got a call saying there had been a strike and that it was impossible to open the apartment. We took the keys and came, and when I walked in, I understood that everything was destroyed. There was no wall, nothing left. Everything was buried under the debris. And then they told us that my mother had been killed on the spot, and my father was lying under a slab and had most likely also been killed instantly. Their apartment faced the side where the strike hit, yes? Yes. You can't even enter there. Everything is buried under the debris. And the neighboring apartment has no wall either, and the top panel fell right where the bed was. How old were your parents? They were born in 1952 and 1954. We're waiting for their bodies to be recovered, and then we'll figure out what to do. My father had cancer. I took care of him. That's all. Please accept our condolences. I'm sorry. We're very sorry for your loss. It's tough, guys. Here's Ukrainian journalist Maria Avdieva and her response to Russia's massive attack. Woke up with no electricity, went shopping in the dark, going to bed the same way. Russia thinks this will break us. Instead, we grow stronger. This is Maria Avdieva shopping in her local grocery store. That's how people do shopping. Another clip. Ukraine is in blackouts, but kids still want to train at football, so their parents are helping them by using cars to light up the pitch. Without electricity, without heat, without running water, Ukrainians are just adapting. Final thing I want to mention before wrapping up today's video is that friend of the channel Richard Woodruff is running another VIDNOVA fundraiser. These are rehabilitation retreats for Ukrainian defenders in the hospital with their families. They get to go to a nice facility in the Carpathian Mountains and they get like 4 or 5 days of peaceful rest with their family. This includes the therapists and the activities and 3 meals a day plus the lodging. I'll link the video down below where Richard would like to ask you guys for donations. It's up on my second channel. I haven't officially mentioned this in a video, but yes, I do have a second YouTube channel now with the purpose being posting clips. Not everyone has 30 minutes to watch a full update video, but I'm going to start making 1 to 3 minute clips of certain stories of my show, and then I'll put them on social media platforms, but also now on my second YouTube channel. And there might be some other fun or interesting videos here if you just want to follow me there. I'll also link what these VIDNOVA retreats look like for Ukrainian defenders recovering in the hospital. Looks like a fantastic experience. I'll put all the donation links down below. Thank you everyone who continues supporting Ukraine. That's all for this update video. I'll be back tomorrow. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. If you found this video informative, give me a thumbs up. Best way to support the channel. Comments and questions, let me know down below. I love hearing from you guys. Till the next video, keep defending the truth, keep defending democracy.